where we have been discussing the futility of constantly seeking improvement. Now, before the break, I promised to explain how coffee has ruined tea. I want to be very clear here. I am not saying that you can't get a good cup of tea in Britain anymore. You can, it's just that it's becoming harder to do so, especially in some places. And I include train stations in that list. Evidence for the prosecution, Exhibit A. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not a cup of tea. That is at best a potential cup of tea. And they were trying to charge nearly £3 for that. £3 and they can't even be bothered to finish the job. That's like asking for some chips and being given a potato. And let's be clear, that isn't even all the ingredients for a cup of tea. More to the point, what ingredients are there are not being assembled in the correct order. Allow me to demonstrate with a scientific experiment that I conducted under laboratory conditions in my own kitchen. That there, ladies and gentlemen, is 2 glasses. In glass 1, there is boiling water. Above glass 1, there is a tea bag. In glass 2, there is a tea bag. Above glass 2, there is boiling water. Let's see what happens when we combine the same ingredients, but in 2 different orders. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, in one of these glasses we have made tea, and in the other we have made not tea. Or, as we scientists call it, piss. But this is only the first of my objections to this cup of potential tea. I would now like to move on to the topic of temperature. Tea and coffee are different drinks. They should be treated differently. For coffee, the water should be between 90 and 95 degrees. Whereas for tea, the water should be heated to between 96 and 100 degrees. And there is a reason for that, as close to boiling as possible for tea. This isn't me being a fusspot. This is actual science. Boiling water brings out the bitter, unpleasant flavours of coffee. Boiling water is needed to bring out the desirable flavours of tea. Now, it is because the water in that cup hasn't boiled, because they haven't boiled it. A borrower could have a bath in that cup. And because it hasn't been boiled, and because they haven't put the tea bag in first, I'm going to have to mash that tea bag to within an inch of its blessed life in order to squeeze any semblance of flavour from it. The ideal implement for that would be a teaspoon. Unfortunately, they haven't given me a teaspoon. They've given me that. What use is that? That, as far as I can tell, is only useful for lighting a high school Bunsen burner. Is that the point? If I missed something, am I meant to seek out a Bunsen burner in the train station and boil the water myself? In another contraption and then pour it into the cup and then add the tea bag? How has tea been brought to this parlous state? I'll tell you how. It is because of machines like this. This is a beautiful machine. It is exactly what you need to make an excellent cup of coffee. But something like this will cost you in the region of £2,500. Whereas what you need to make a good cup of tea is one of these. And you can get one of those for in the region of £6. You need to train someone to operate one of those. If you need to train someone to operate one of those, they shouldn't have left the house. Now let me show you how one has interacted on the other. I'll do that using my cost versus quality analysis of hot brown drinks over time graph. Obviously brackets, not including hot chocolates. If we map the price on the horizontal axis, ladies and gentlemen, and the quality of the brown drink on the vertical axis. Now, 20 odd years ago, when I was a young man, it was pretty much impossible to get a bad cup of tea. It was always of a high quality, and it was always relatively cheap, 30, 40, 50p for a cup of tea. Coffee, however, it was similarly priced, 30, 40, 50p, but it was pretty abysmal. It was instant, it was burned, we didn't know what we were doing. Britain was a very naive place, coffee-wise. It needed to be improved, and good on them, they improved it, but at a cost. They took it up to a high-price, high-quality item. And if things stay there, that will be fine, because what you've got there is one high-quality, low-price item and one high-quality, high-price item. But they weren't happy with that. They thought, we can't put tea and coffee on the same menu, serving one of them for 50p and one of them for £3, but because they've used one of these to make the coffee, they've got to justify the cost of that. So they've dragged the price of tea up towards the price of coffee. And even then, if things stayed there, at least they'd both be acceptable things. But no, because they for making coffee, they've taken tea down to here. A low-quality, high-priced drink. We have traded off, ladies and gentlemen, a situation where we used to have a high quality at a low price and a low quality at a low price, two acceptable situations, for one situation now where we have an acceptably expensive drink and a completely unacceptable drink in the bottom right-hand corner. What kind of trade-off is that? That is like sending your thick son to an expensive boarding school but making your intelligent daughter work as a prostitute to pay for it. And it's a ridiculous thing to have done. And that is how coffee has ruined tea. I rest my case, ladies and gentlemen. Now, something else has changed in the world of the tea drinker. You were a tea drinker, weren't you, sir? You were a tea drinker there, weren't you? Yeah. When you are you a pot person or are you just teabag in the mug? Teabag in the mug. I think most people are these days. If this was your brand of tea, and I know other brands are available, I'm not recommending one at all, just as an example, talk me through the process in which you make the tea. You take the bag out, put it in the mug.
Yeah, and then I boil the kettle.
Boil the kettle, yeah.
And when it's done, I pour the water in. And
and then do you mash it a bit? Yeah, milk or not? Milkman, yeah, okay. And at what point do you add a second bag to that? Of course you don't, do you? Because that's how we all make tea, isn't it? We use one bag in a mug, we make a cup of tea with it, that's right, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. In which case, what the hell is that doing? What are they doing bringing that out? That's not right, is it? If they're also releasing that into the market, then doesn't that imply that was in some way a bit wrong for one cup of tea? Why have they been telling us to make a tea with one of these all these years if it isn't right? Is this too strong or is it too weak? What is it? All their adverts show them putting one of those in a mug as well. Was that wrong of us? Imagine going to the chemist to get your usual brand of condoms, say Durex Extra Safe, and discovering that sitting right next to them on the shelf, there's a packet of Durex One Bomb. 3 single-use condoms that are perfect for just one bong. What message would that send out about the condoms you've been using up until now? That they're not good enough, that you should have been using them 2 or 3 times? Which, of course, you shouldn't. There are certain things that you just shouldn't meddle with. And we'll be talking about some of those after the break.